Subscribe to the second channel to absorb my wisdom. Okay, bye.
Donald, Daddy needs $15 million to bomb every pregnancy ward in Iran. Who knows where they could be hiding that enriched uranium, Donald. They're days away from getting a nuke, Donald. Go get my purse. $15 million to Israel. Not so fast. Holy shit, is that Oberon from the hit game Warframe, trademark copyright 2025? I'm the dead homies, my nigga. I can say that, I'm black. Anyways, Donald, Benjamin's been using you. He's been putting estrogen in that Israeli mid-pack to turn you into his submissive bottom femboy bitch. What? That is impossible. Truly impossible. Just preposterous. Everyone knows Israel is our biggest ally. Daddy Netanyahu would never. Oh yeah? Smoke this shit, and all will become clear, homie. It's that prime Oregon blend, with plants grown in the fertile soil of Cetus next to a highly radioactive crater. Hey, don't spark that shit, Donald. He's a lie. Goddamn. This shit is good. Holy fuck, it's all clear to me. You lied to me, Benjamin. Donald, you're clearly tripping right now. This unwelcome guest must have laced your shit. Nah, shut your crack ass up, Benjamin. Get out of my office before I get the Secret Service to reshape your ass.
Oberon is what happens when you combine aggressive gardening with the healing power of Mother Nature. His name is the Lorax. He speaks for the trees. The trees in question are radiating 5Gs. Radioactivity is by far what Oberon's kit is mostly about, and in Warframe it's a status effect with the ability to confuse enemies and have them target each other. Unfortunately, Oberon being cursed with radiation damage is also his greatest weakness, but we'll get to that later.
Oh my god, I'm about to die!
Oberon is a goat. He's also a pretty old frame, and he didn't even get his own questline. He was just sort of thrown into the game during update 4.5. According to Reddit, the forums, Wikipedia, fandom, and ChatGPT, his lore relevance is basically just the Lorax. But he is a plant-themed Warframe, and Titania's questline is the Silver Grove, a questline that's optional and so annoying that I barely started it all these hours later. I'll go over that questline in the Titania video. That one's probably coming sooner rather than later, seeing as I have both Gara and Titania Prime sitting in my arsenal and gathering dust. But for now, Oberon is a paladin of the forest, which makes sense since the Loka are the tree huggers of the Warframe universe. His namesake, the god Oberon, was married to Titania's namesake, the goddess queen of fairies. So yeah, if you mow the grass a little bit too often, Titania might shrink and go inside your lawnmower and break it, forcing you to stop harming the wildlife. Oberon will just beat your ass. Obtaining Oberon's normal variant is locked behind the Rising Tide quest, in which you find out about railjack missions. These railjack missions are really fucking cool until you all of a sudden don't need anything from them anymore and never touch them again. DE, please add more railjack content. This thing has been sitting in my garage for the past year. After buying his main blueprint from the market, you gain his parts by doing Earth Proxima and Saturn Proxima POI, that means point of interest missions. But I can see you through the screen. Stop digging in your nose. It's nasty. Wash your hands. But I can hear you saying, I don't want to do a bunch of fucking quests before I can sink my teeth into the Lorax over here. Well, in that case, you can just watch the Duviri circuit until he shows up in the non-steel path selection. But this is a lottery of a few frames that refresh weekly, so don't hold your breath. Duviri in general is a great place to try out frames that you don't have yet to see if they're worth building, and you might get some arcanes for your trouble, so why not?
That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
Oberon's passive grants all companions on his team 25% of his own health pool as extra health. This means if you have 100 health and the companions have 50 health, they now all have 75 base health. Very cool for keeping my dumbass dog who keeps charging into Xmas units alive. Smite is Oberon's first ability, and I'm sorry to say it's sorta lackluster. Oberon wells up radiation energy in his hand, smites an enemy with hallowed light, and this sends out projectiles that bounce around and hit up to 6 other targets with a fully upgraded strength mod. The amount of damage is a flat number, plus up to 35% of the main target's health. The main target also gets staggered, which means you can turn them into a shish kebab, and they also get puncture, which weakens the target's damage output and increases your critical chance on the target. If it sounds like I'm scanning the wiki as much as possible to find a way to make this ability sound good, I am. Hallowed Ground, aka Instant Miracle Grow, trademark, is the ability we all know and love Oberon for, and it carries his kit on its back. He spreads his seed, grow up, and creates a guard garden of that premium Orokin pack, that shit that makes enemies take radiation damage and forget who their target was. It also grants extra armor to allies, which is something that you have to check the wiki for because the game doesn't tell you that. Oberon does not deserve this. Hashtag free Oberon from this oppression. Renewal is Oberon's third ability, and it's basically the entire reason why he's in the support category. Oberon channels his European heritage in order to give his entire team free medical care. If anyone affected by renewal is standing on hollowed ground, they also get hit with iron renewal, which is this ability plus a bunch of extra armor. Oberon's final ability is called Reckoning, and it basically lifts up all enemies in range and pile drives them into the floor face first. If they land on hollowed ground, they permanently have their armor stripped by up to 100% depending on your ability strength, and every enemy killed has a higher chance of dropping a health orb. Smite Infusion dips all of your allies' bullets and blades into a vat of nuclear reactor cooling water and turns them bright green on some kryptonite type of timing. I'm running out of radiation jokes. Hallowed Eruption doubles the duration of hollowed ground, very nice, and it also gives you the option to detonate your garden and deal all the radiation damage that would have been dealt over time in one instance of damage. Phoenix Renewal gives everyone on your squad who's currently under the effects of renewal a get out of jail free card. When they die, they'll just walk it off and start regenerating health, but you're only allowed to die once every 90 seconds. Hallowed Reckoning has nothing to do with hollowed ground. It gives you up to 40% extra range, gives your allies bonus armor, and deals 300 damage per second to enemies caught. Free damage, free armor. Sign me up. If you couldn't tell by how I was reaching for jokes, Oberon is not good. He's certainly not a waste of space or anything. He's not even in the top 10 worst frames in the game, but he has been somewhat forgotten by DE. I think he's due for a rework soon, but I'm not certain. The majority of the reason why he's bad isn't even his fault. It's because radiation damage sucks. Like I said earlier, radiation damage confuses enemies and then has them target each other, but that really isn't all that useful unless you're in a scenario where enemies can basically one-shot you. In addition, the Grineer, one of the most abundant enemy types in the game, can just shrug radiation damage off. But even so, you can still brute force radiation to be good by just making the numbers bigger, and that's why Oberon isn't terrible. He just needs a few more mods than others to start blowing shit up with the best of them. When building Oberon, I recommend building for strength first, then duration, then range. The Hallowed Eruption mod is very useful for just the passive ability alone, even if you don't want to nuke everything, and if you do, Hallowed Reckoning is right there. Arcane Rise is a must, 60% chance for free damage, yes sir, I am a gambling man. The second augment isn't as important, but I find myself using Arcane Pulse to double down on my support role. I build my Archon shards for survivability because I'm the medic, I need to live, with 2 slots for ability strength because sometimes the medic needs to pop a cap in somebody's ass. This isn't the best build, I doubt it's even a good build, but it works for me up until around level 170. In conclusion, Oberon players are up there with gamers and white women as the most oppressed group of people in the entire world. DE is probably going to give him a rework soon, and when they do, I'll make amends to this video. Until then, check out my other content. I have a second channel where I post my innermost, deepest academic ponderings. Join the Discord, send me money because I'm poor, and have a great day, and a good night.
I was just a kid in the suburbs doing alright. Then I became a young nigga overnight. When I catch low it's gonna be on sight. 4.5s and ARDs. Up in the trenches with my new family. And a gang that's built on loyalty.